because I sang on Quiet Riot's album. And then Steven Tyler came into my studio and asked me if that was me. And I said, yes. And then he said, come here. So he took me into the studio and he played like a washboard. And I sang this song sitting next to him called Black Cherry. And it was like screaming. It was like we were just screaming the word. It was so funny. And then I went back to my studio. But, then when I saw him during the day, he would like go, do you want some carrot juice? I'm going to the health food store. He was really nice.
Welcome to my podcast where I'll be speaking with guests candidly about interesting topics. So join me on Candid with Kimbra.
Tuesday night, part 2. I'm so glad that I got you back because, for our listeners, I felt really badly because we had to stop on a sad note. You were talking about your dad and I felt really bad about because I don't think I knew the history of your dad, I knew the history of your dad, but I didn't know how, he died so young.
Yeah.
So I feel bad about that. And
yeah, thank you.
yeah,
I definitely do miss him, but it's so funny. My mom is like, my mom told him like when they divorced, she's like, oh, great. She goes, now I have to look at your face for the rest of my because I look like my dad so much. His faces, if you look at him, if you Google him, you will be like, oh my God, Tuesday and him are like the same person. I once put my hair on his face and sent it to him, and he thought it was me. And I said, Dad, I'm going to show you what this is. And I separated the hair and all this stuff, and it was my dad. And he's like, oh my God. Oh, I was freaked out.
My stepfather, who's, he's always like telling me, so-and-so died today. I'm like, let's not
tell me.
I know, let's not go there.
No, I hate that. It's the one part of life that I'm not really fond of.
I know, who is, right? And, I'm not going to I don't want to get it on downer note, but like with animals and stuff, it's just like such a sad thing because
oh God, my friends just lost their dog after like 14 years. I was really close to that dog and it just, oh my God, it was just heartbreaking. It just like last week, it was just heartbreaking.
I know you're so good about other people's pets too, because you're like, you take a genuine concern. Like I remember when Laura was with us at dinner, you guys were bonding over the animals.
Yeah, I just yeah, it's hurtful, because I really feel like, they don't ever break your heart until they leave.
That's
The whole time you have them, they're, they're like committed, they're loving, and they're like men should be more.
Right? If only your man could be like your dog.
Right. Because who I'd kick out if they didn't like it. It would be like, get out of here.
That's true. I have
cat and dog is staying.
I know. It's so true though. I'm not going to get into men bashing. I just have a friend that's really
I love men. I'm just teasing.
I know, but they're fun. They can take it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to talk to you though about what you're doing now because I know that you've been doing a lot of really interesting projects and you were really proud of that one that I went to the screening of, remember? You were proud because you worked hard to get in that project with Robert Amico was the producer. Shout out to him.
That's what the dog's name was.
Robert?
No, Amico.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I did, let's see. When Jennifer first approached me, she thought that I would have played Tracy, which was Tanya, the older the other girl. I don't know if she's older or I'm older than her. I don't know, but I didn't look old enough, they said. So
you have that cherubic face that you will always look like so young.
Odd. So I don't look like that to me. I'm like, but thank you. Yeah, when I got with her and I knew she wanted me to be in it, I was like, oh, what am I gonna play? I want to be in this film. And so she called me and then she said, well, we had a Zoom and she said, well, there's one other part that you could definitely play. And it's the part of Cecilia. You're the one that gets killed. And at the end, it's all about that. And so I said, yeah, sure. Even though it was only 3 scenes, I'm like, I don't care. I just wanted to do it. I liked it. The character.
Yeah. And I know you got along really well with the producers and
oh yeah, I love them. They're great. They're so sweet. I think the producer, which is her husband, I think he was probably the nicest producer I've ever worked with. He was just unbelievable. He was so sweet. He
That's
really did.
really saying something because you've worked with a lot of big producers too, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and he was great. Yeah, they're I definitely think that they're gonna, have success at this. I think so.
Good.
Whether it be this movie or another one, I don't know, but they are working on it right now to make it a little bit shorter.
Oh,
Because I mean, even you noticed it was a
yeah,
little
it
bit,
was too
yeah,
long, but sometimes you need some time to sit and think about it. Because I know when I've done things, when I first started doing things, and I don't edit, as you know, but I would get an editor and I would like, no, don't cut that part out. Because you're taking everything so, you're every little bit it seems so important, but that's the key to a successful film is knowing when to cut, right? So
yeah,
that's, they say film is an editor's medium, because it's like it makes the
yeah.
performance, right?
I mean, Carl is an amazing, my boyfriend, he's an amazing editor. And he used to work in LA. He was a
Mhm.
director, writer, and then he just kind of went, I'm not doing this anymore. And now he's a social worker. So I'm like, wow, that's such a jump. But so on my stuff, he edits my stuff, like my voiceover stuff. And I'm so grateful that he does it,
What a
because
perfect boyfriend he is for you because A, he's understanding because he's a
yeah,
social worker, right? But B,
yep.
he knows the industry and he knows how to help you when you need it.
Oh God, yeah, he really does. I mean, he's on it before I am. Like, have you tried out for this one? I saw this movie, and yeah, he's very helpful.
Oh, that's great. You're lucked out, and he's really good to your mom too.
Oh God, yes,
Yeah.
yes, he loves my mom.
Well, you're lucky, but you deserve it because I know you've had some rocky relationships too, like we all have.
Yeah, yeah, kind of rocky, kind of crazy, I'd say.
Right. Okay, so now I heard some great things about some music that you're doing lately too. Like Jeff was telling me about this guy that you're working with. I don't know if you can say anything about it yet, but
Oh yeah, yeah, Denny. Oh yeah, he's great. I actually, when I was in Kentucky, filming a movie called Daylight to Dark, it he was on the scene, and he was the music guy,
Mhm.
and we just hit it off like amazingly, and we've been in touch this whole time since I've been back. And I sang a few songs there that he wanted me to do. And I guess he didn't think that I could do them. Like he said, I knew you were a good singer, but like I didn't know you could do this. And I was like, wow, I know it's okay. I didn't know you could do that. And we just got along. But I did a version of Nightmare, which is, the song on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mhm.
And then I did a version for the movie Daylight to Dark. I actually a guy sings it in the beginning, and then the end credits is my version.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so I'm excited about that, and of course, Last Culprit. I'm excited to have it come out. Um, and it's been weird. I've been doing voiceover so much, and I'm just like, I've gotten a few of them, and it's a very competitive business. I feel like it's even more competitive than acting, you
Yeah,
know?
it is because I've done a few things too. A friend of mine that works at Netflix, she's thought of me for this project because I was similar to the character that she was casting for. And working for Netflix was hard because, you had to do all the Foley stuff and, well, running and taking the water and then, but I'm sad, so it was like,
Yeah,
it was really
I
hard.
did it. Yeah, I did one like that. I fit
Yeah,
it was
I think Jeff told me it was like a German thing or Polish
yeah,
or something.
Turkish.
Turkish. Okay.
Yeah. And it was so much fun. And I was really let down because I did the first season, and it was a lead character, and it was a lead woman, and she isn't in the second one. And I still wanted to work on it, but they didn't hire me because they said that my voice was too noticeable as this character named Alev.
Uh,
And so I didn't get it. I was so mad.
I know. I was telling Jeff, but he told me you said the same thing. I love doing voiceover stuff because you just go dress comfortable. You don't have to worry about.
Yeah, you don't have to look good. Oh no, I love it. And you don't have to like memorize 10 pages for
That's
like,
true because you're like right in there. But it's and oh, I have a funny story. When I was doing the Netflix thing, the guy that was the engineer was
Mhm.
a fellow student of a friend of mine. We went to music school together, so
Oh,
he helped me a lot because it was my first time doing a real big voiceover job, and so he was like, using these musical terms. He was like, no, more staccato, you know. And
Oh yeah.
he was trying to like, you know, remember our music school days. But anyway, so that was good. But yeah, it is. I feel like it's more competitive too. I feel like because there's just, well, really, in my opinion, it's strictly for your talent too. You know, I mean, in a lot of ways. I mean, also, you can also get jobs through knowing people and stuff, but it's your, if you don't match the sound, and then you have to be able to do certain characters really well, you know. A friend of mine, Leah Sargent, she did all the anime stuff, and she would send me these audios where she was sound of a little boy, you know, she made the voice of a little boy, and you know, she was
Oh
really
yeah.
a character, you know.
Oh yeah, that's I've done some of those too. I've done like a little boy talking in the teddy bear talks. I've been the teddy bear, and that was really fun. And I did a spot for Warby Parker
Mm-hmm.
that I'm really proud of because they put John Lennon in it. I'm so happy the music came on. And I was like, oh my God, it's John Lennon. I freaked out
That's great.
because he's my favorite.
I
So
know, we talked about the last time, yeah.
it
uh
always comes up.
right, the Beatles, they always come around, you know.
Telling you. Ah,
Um,
crazy.
so now, what's your plans for the future? Like, you want to just keep doing more music and getting, you
Well,
know, more
I
acting?
want yeah, I want to do music, but I have to say that the music is I definitely when I do it is 100%, but my true love I think is acting. When I can do both, it's it's amazing. And Rennie Harlan is the one that really gave me that start because I didn't even know that Nightmare was going to be the title song until I was sitting in the theater. So you can imagine my
Job.
jaw. Yeah, that's it
That's
was a
amazing.
I know. I was so grateful for that. And, the way it is even now, I mean, I'm still doing things for Nightmare on Elm Street. It's funny. It doesn't matter all the work I've done, all the projects that I've done with like, bigger people like Billy Bob Thornton and Robert De Niro and Drew Barrymore. I mean, the other people, they don't mean anything. Okay. It's just Nightmare on Elm Street is like the only thing that people know me from. It's
Oh,
crazy.
well,
Once in a while, somebody will say, oh, I saw Mistress or something like that. And I'll go, oh, yay, somebody saw it.
well, you know, it's a double-edged sword because the thing is, you know, yeah, you have done all this other, you have a big body of work and, you know, probably stuff that you're very, very proud of. But on the other hand, it's like the Nightmare franchise. I mean, at least, you know, you have a niche that you'll be remembered for, but you're still
Oh,
young.
yeah.
You're still young, so you know, there's other work that's going to come, maybe something else,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
I mean, I love Nightmare. I don't mean it in a
Sure.
negative way at all. I mean, I'm grateful to be a part of it because, it's helped me, survive a lot of years, because we do these conventions and the conventions are, I mean, I have made a lot of money in conventions and, we got just like scale when we did it. And we just didn't know that it was going to be like this successful thing. We thought it was just going to be, oh, this is a little horror film like Nightmare, the first one. And, hopefully it'll be good. And as a cast, we used to go to theaters where it was playing and,
Really?
and sit in the back row. And I mean, if anybody would have turned around, they would have freaked because we wanted to see the reaction.
Right,
And
right.
the reaction was great. And we would go to these theaters and like hide in the back. It was really fun. It was fun.
And how fun to be a part of all that, you know?
Yeah. So I'm grateful. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Nightmare. It's great. I'm not, I am, let's see, how do I say this without being mean? Um,
It's dramatic.
um, it's it it's not that I don't like the cast members. I do like them, but there was a Never Sleep Again was a documentary that I know you know
Oh,
about.
right.
And it was I was sick, I had cancer, and I had to do it at that time. They had to have it. I had dark hair, I was swollen, it was terrible. The medicine that I was taking is called tamoxifen, and you'd have to take it for breast cancer for 5 years. 5 years. It made me gain like 30 pounds. And so I don't like to look at it because it does not look like me. And basically the cast, nothing to do with my look, the cast, like insulted me the whole documentary. It was like, oh, Tuesday came along and she was the queen bee. Rennie Harlan and her were having an affair. Oh my God. I mean, everybody said I was a diva and that I could change the script and that I changed people's scenes. And it was like, oh my God, it really hurt my feelings when I saw it. I cried. I was really, I couldn't believe it. It was my
Oh, you
first.
mean they said this in the documentary? You mean they were saying all
Yes,
the, oh, I didn't.
yes. And even one of the girls, Toy, that I hung out with all the time, she would like go with me to the set when I was working.
Mhm.
And even her, the only person that didn't say anything about me that was bad was Andras Jones, who I love and is a good friend of mine, and also Rennie. At the end of it, Rennie goes, "Hey," he goes, "Nope, we never had an affair, but I wish we did." You know, so that was funny. But oh no, I hate that. I don't, and I really don't. I really don't. I don't know. I just feel
God,
really
I'm
weird about
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry that you had that experience, you know?
And I told them all, and guess where I chose to tell them? On a podcast like this.
So,
They were all sitting there, and something came up in me.
right.
Something must have happened where they mentioned it or something, and I was like, okay. I just went all over, and I felt good about it. I was like, yeah, you did that, you know.
Terrible.
So
You,
anyway,
you mentioned,
they're a group, but I'm not really in that group. That's what I'm trying to
well,
say.
maybe it doesn't sound like a group that I would want to be a member of, you know?
Yeah. And they all are very like into uh drinking and that sort of stuff, party type stuff. And I am, I've never even been drunk. I don't even know what it's like. So I don't drink. And it was just weird being around that.
Too bad. I mean, God, I hate to hear stories like that. It's like, acting and is hard enough, but we don't need our fellow actors to like say things. And plus, you're going through. I didn't. I guess I don't remember that you had breast cancer. You know.
Yeah, I did. It was 2011, I think. But I was really lucky because I had something called DCIS,
Hmm.
which is right before stage one. So and it's encapsulated. So I just had to have a lumpectomy. I didn't, thank God, have to have a mastectomy because that would be
Oh, yeah.
hard to deal with.
Sure, of course. I'm so sorry. That must have
Oh,
been
thank you.
horrible. I mean, you must
I'm
have.
so lucky though. I'm like in remission, like how many years? It's been really cool.
Well, you said 2011.
Uh-huh.
It's been at least 12, 13 years,
Yeah. And
right?
it's funny, once you've had it, even though it's like in remission, you always think when you go in, like when I go in for my mammogram, I'm always like, oh God, it could come back. But I've been lucky. Thank God.
Yeah, knock on wood, thank God. So you mentioned Andros, and I was, that funny story. I was singing at this wedding, and I think he was there. I think he was, my friend Sarah married
Oh,
this.
that's right. He was playing music there, right?
Maybe, or was he the best, one of the groomsmen or something? I don't remember because Jeff saw him, and he's like, "Oh, that's Andros,"
Oh, funny. I think Jeff told me about this.
Yeah, yeah. He has long hair, right? Kind of long hair.
Kind
Andros.
of long, about to here. Yeah, it's kind of like this part of my hair, but
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have bangs, but it would be just like this length. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Sarah Marshall knows he's a musician, so he knows everybody. So it's just, it's kind of funny, right?
Yeah. Well, I went out with Ross for like 3 years.
And hopefully it was good. I mean, it was,
It was. I mean, it was. We make much better friends than we do, boyfriend and girlfriend. But it's funny with me. I'm pretty much friends with everybody I've ever gone out with, except for two people. And that's I think it's better than we've made friends. And so it's I think it's better than being like, I don't want, I don't want to see him, you know. It just makes you angry and it makes you feel it. So
that's
yeah.
so true. Like I'd like to be friends with all my exes, but and I am mostly. My first one, he wanted to get married and I didn't at that time, so I was like, it ended kind of badly and he still kind of he doesn't want to be friends with me. His father, who was a good friend of mine, who was an actor, named David Patch, and he passed away. And I
How do
called
I know that name?
David
It
Patch.
sounds familiar to me.
He was in David Patch was in The Producers, the with Mel Brooks. Mel
Uh-huh.
Brooks, yeah, who
Yeah.
was the producer of The Producers. And David had a small part, but it was very memorable. And he ran a theater group in Hollywood called the August Strindberg Society. But he was a dear, dear friend of mine. He was a member of the Actors Studio too. And
Oh,
he introduced Peter, his son, to me. And, we have a lot of fond memories, but, he didn't really want to be friend. I'm probably going to cut this part of the podcast, but, but I
you
have
don't have
fun.
to.
I
You
don't
don't
have
have to because this
real.
makes you look really real and
Yeah,
cool.
that's true. But Peter, if you're out there, I want to be friends. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Pete, come on, be your friend.
No, he just got married actually, and I'm happy for him because he married. I don't really know the woman, but she seems like a really nice woman. Like she's a, what do they call those? The people when you go to the drugstore and you get your prescription. Blah, blah, blah.
Pharmacist?
Yeah, she's a
Pharmacist?
pharmacist. Yeah, and I was like, don't blow this one.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got a
Well,
good job.
it's good they're in different business. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Peter was a dancer, and he was really good. His family is a neat family. His brother Lewis wrote "Bird on a Wire," and
Oh,
yeah,
okay, with Goldie Hawn. Yeah.
and he wrote, a couple other. He was a good screenplay writer, and his family was really. It was my first time dating someone from a family that was super artistic and just totally in the arts.
Yeah.
He still is a real New Yorker. He lives in Midtown, and he's like a New Yorker through and through.
Yeah.
But those New Yorkers, there's something about them that are really, I used to date only New York men because they're so different from California men.
Oh, I bet. Oh, yeah. I know. I really find that, like, I mean, this sounds really nutty, but I think that Jewish men are like very different with their women. They treat them better, I think.
Uh-huh.
Um, Carl is Jewish. I mean,
Right.
just guys that, I mean, first of all, Carl is a whole different being than anyone I've ever gone out with. I've never been treated this way. Um, Never been taken care of like this. I'm not used to it because I used to take care of all my boyfriends.
Right.
So because I was the one making money, I was the one working. I mean, it was like you got to buy your own underwear. Come on,
Right.
it
I
was
know. Our mutual friend has told me
Mhm.
that. He said that you always take care of people, and so it's about time that you have somebody that's really taking care of you. And it's funny, my friend Lori Rubin, I'll say hello to her now on the podcast. She's Jewish, she always says that. She goes, Jewish men are the best.
Yeah, they are. I know. The
Yeah.
other ones don't even want to buy their underwear.
I,
But this one does.
I had a boyfriend once that said that he wasn't Jewish, and he'd say, "You Jewish men, you're giving us. What did he say? You're making us
Think
look
it's a bad name.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like you're making
yeah.
us look bad. Like we got to step up."
Yep, they got to step up.
So, yeah. Well, anyway, so you acting is your first love, but
Yeah.
music you still want to do. Well, it's in your music's in your blood too, though, because of your dad, don't you think?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I say that it's just a weird thing when they say, "What do you like better?" Because that's one of the main questions I always get asked in interviews and stuff. Like, do you like acting better or do you like music? And I always say, when I'm doing music, it's
Mhm.
100%, and when I do acting, it's 100%. So I
Right.
can't really say, even when I feel weird when I say I like acting better. Still, I still feel weird because I think that my music and my acting are like kind of combined.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
and
kind
you've done that a few
of.
times where you've been in acting parts where you got to like with the thing with George Clooney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was just so amazing. And back, well, in those days, like the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, it was, I mean, I worked constantly, and it was different then with all the casting directors and all this kind of stuff. And they actually had a say in who they wanted to choose, where now it's like the big-handed woman. No. And now, and now it's like, now they don't have any say. And it's like, okay, this producer has to say, and that's it. You know what I mean?
And I've also heard too that it's all about your not all about, but a lot of it is about your social media following.
Yes. Oh,
And
yes.
I remember when I first started going out for commercials fairly recently, where they would say, you got to we're hiring people that have X amount of Instagram followers or Facebook followers or whatever it is, So
Okay.
that's hard too, because that's like a constant job
I know, I'm terrible at it. I wouldn't have a job ever. I mean, if that were really true, because, but it is true because sometimes in a audition, or getting ready for audition, you get your stuff and the script and all that. They'll say, and what is your handle? I'm
Mhm.
like, handle is on, I don't know, my
What am I?
car.
What is that thing? The trucker thing? What's your handle?
Yeah, what's your handle? You know, no, I didn't know the hell what they're talking about. Okay, what's my handle? I don't know. It's your name. Okay, all right. So
Right.
I looked it up. I don't know. It's so weird.
I know. Well, you got a pretty good Instagram, but you have somebody that helps you with it, right?
Yeah,
Or
well, yeah, my friend Mikey helps me with that. And Denny, the one I met, has really helped me with TikTok because I personally, like, some of my friends are on there. A lot of my friends are on there. And I'm not the kind of person that is like, hi, I had a hamburger today and it was so good and I drove a red car.
right,
And it's just funny to me when people say those things like on Facebook or anything. So TikTok, the only reason I kind of knew about it
right.
was this guy called me up and he said, my friend, and he said, Tuesday, your dad's song is like viral on TikTok.
Really?
And I was like, what? So yeah, it's called Lonesome Town. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I
know it.
love that song. Yeah,
Aw,
I
that-
do.
that's so good.
Yeah.
Thank you. And my dad was like my hero writer. I
I
mean, he wrote The Wonder of You. Come
I
on.
know. I remember you told me that, and my friend Rick, who hires me at the American Legion, which is a really nice American Legion, by the way. It's a historical building from the 20s, and
Ooh,
they do. Well, when you're back to LA, if I'm ever down there, you should come down. But anyway, Ted Turner, the film festival, they do it there. It's got a beautiful theater. But because
wow.
when you say you sing at the American Legion, people are always like, it's a bunch of retired soldier, But it's a really nice one.
People always say a bunch of crap. You just can't listen to anybody.
You know,
Yeah,
that's what my
it's
friend said. I
funny.
invited her down. She's like, "What I want to, it's going to be a bunch of old military people."
That's so funny.
But
I was going to say that the reason I looked at TikTok was because of my dad's song, right?
right,
And it was so weird. There were like people like in Japan singing it and like in I don't know, Germany, and it was like all these things and I was like, "Oh my God." And my friend said, "See, this really gets out. It really gets you known and this and that." And then Denny talked to me and was saying, "Oh my God." Da, da. He said, "You got 11,000 views in 2 hours."
so
And I was like, Okay. It's just I don't know. I'm terrible at it. I'm
so
terrible at it. I have no social media. I just have a picture.
well, so this thing with your dad's song, who made the video that went with it? I mean, who made that video?
I don't even, you mean the one that was rolling around?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
really?
don't even know. No. My friend just saw it and he saw everybody else singing it. And it was just like the whole thing he said was that. And I was just like, oh my God, like young people, like, teenagers, and they're singing my dad's song, which was like in the 50s. I'm like, oh my God.
That is so cool. Yeah, I know. I've been so resistant to get on TikTok just because I'm always like, it's another thing I gotta do. But
Yeah.
then with this podcast we were doing, my first guest, we made a clip and put it on TikTok, and it just got boom, 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 got so many views like right away. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to join the bandwagon, even though I don't want to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was kind of like, okay. You know, I don't know if it does something and it helps, because right now it's like to me it feels so different than it used to be, and it's harder and there's more competition and there's just, a lot of stuff. The way I feel is it's either your part or it isn't. It's
Right.
either your song or it isn't. You know what I mean?
That's a good attitude to have, though.
Yeah, I have to let go because see, sometimes I get attached to a role. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when I read a role, I'm like, and and I can't let go of it. So I've recently just learned to let go of it, which is so
Really,
freeing.
that's
Freeing.
that's awesome that you're.
Yep.
I mean, this is not an attitude you've had forever. It's a fairly recent thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've learned that in life, not just with acting. It's like it's your like I was having problems with somebody in my family, and I was like,
Mhm.
I have to be the big person. I have to change my attitude because this person is not going to change, and it's always
Right.
you, you know. So it's part of letting go. It's part of
Yeah.
changing your perspective. It's hard sometimes because we want to be stubborn and we want to be like, you know,
Yeah, and we want our way for a minute. You know what I
yeah,
mean? We want
yeah,
our way. See it my
right,
way. But
right.
that's amazing that you say that because do you know who Dee Wallace is?
Yes, we talked. Oh wait, we talked about Dee. She'll teach at the church now.
No, no, she's not doing that. Now she is doing, you should look at her site. It's imdwallace.com.
Mhm.
She helps people manifest things in their life. Uh, I mean, it is insanely wonderful what she does. I've only done it with her twice, but I am now like a member. I'm telling you, it's there's a lot of things that she's brought up to me that are so true about like being negative about yourself. And that she basically said that the universe gives you whatever you create. If you
Mhm,
create
mhm.
that you suck at that, you will suck at that. It's like that. So she's, really helpful in moving you over to thinking a totally different way where you create what you want and then the universe joins in,
Right.
you
No,
know?
I agree with you. I mean, I'm trying because my one friend, she's like she wakes up every morning. She's recently gone through a lot of things, personal things, and she was like, I wake up every morning and go, such and such is only gonna her name, I'm not gonna say her name, is
Oh,
only is only having good things happen to her today. And she's, it's like you gotta start the morning or what the afternoon or whatever it is with that positive. I believe in positive
yeah.
affirmations.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, that's what I'm learning is to when I have that negative thought about myself, I have to like you just have to smack it. And she teaches you to have a love place, like where you go, in your mind, where you're the
Mm,
happiest you've ever been. And for me, the happiest is when I'm working. That's when I am like, okay, yeah,
sure.
I'm so grateful. And I'm like, oh, this is great.
Um,
Um, and so, I go to that place. And it's amazing how it works because things have come to me lately. And I mean, it's different.
well,
It's
it must
different.
be working because you're in a good relationship.
Yeah, I
But
know.
my friend always says that to me. Another friend of mine, she's so like, even when I say things like, God, I'm so stupid, I'll say things that she goes, don't call yourself stupid. She's always
Oh,
like,
yeah, I say that too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She's like, start talking about yourself in a kind and loving way.
I
But
know.
kind
Or
of,
also I'll pick on something like I look fat from that angle. I don't like that picture. And I raise them. I'm very like, picky because I'm curvy and I don't like, how camera can make you look something.
believe me, I know because, our mutual friend Jeff, we talk about that all
Yes.
the time. I'm like, I know I'm very ultra picky about stuff, but, I just can't stand looking at myself in that particular way.
Yeah, me too.
I dated this guy once who was like so critical about like, most women were very critical about our weight and all that.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I would eat a bag of chips or something, and he would say like, you shouldn't be eating those chips because you're gonna get fat. And I would always be, and then that makes you just want to eat them more.
Yeah. And especially saying that to you is like a big joke.
Oh, thank you. No, but
Because
he
you
was.
are like, you have like a great figure, and
Oh,
like I would trade mine in for
oh no,
yours.
no, no. He was a skinny rocker, so you know how those guys are, right? And
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah. Their girlfriends have to weigh like 25 pounds and wear hip huggers and no
yeah,
shirt. Like
yeah,
a
exactly. He was like a size, in our jeans, he was like a 26. You know what I mean?
that's tiny. Wow.
But I think he's gained a few inches, pounds, so that's.
Yeah. You know what? I went out with a rocker like that,
Yeah.
and he also, I think he wore like a 27, and I was like wearing a 28. I'm like, okay, so
Now it's
I
hard
don't
when you date somebody who's really skinny, but a lot of these rocker guys, they as they get older into their 40s now, it's hard for them to be so skinny, and they're finally at these normal weights.
well, yeah, and even then, and they're still like doing it, and they're like, 60, 70. I mean, they're really like it seems like, I mean, like look at Mick Jagger. I mean, he's going, 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 and he's,
I'm going to go see them actually
oh great.
in
Yeah.
July at the Forum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a friend of mine has never seen them, so we're going to be in the pit. We're going to be down at the bottom, like Mick Jagger's going to be
Ooh.
sweating on us, you know.
Oh, that's cool. When are you going?
That Wednesday, they're at the Forum in July. I think it's the 10th or 11th. I'm not sure, but
Oh, that's great. Carl got me tickets. Like my favorite band, is the Beatles, but my second one is Crowded House. Do you know who they
oh
are?
yeah, sure.
I I love Neil Finn.
Oh,
Okay.
he's a great
I'm
songwriter.
like, oh my God, and a singer. His voice is, I mean,
That's true. You're right.
I can't take it. Anyway, I always tell Carl, I mean, if Neil Finn asked me to marry him and go to Australia, I'm going.
Oh, he's
New-
Australian.
What? He's Australian. No, he's New Zealand. I'm sorry.
New Zealand. Yeah. What do they call that? That's your hall pass or something. You know, they always
Yeah.
say it's like your hall pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to say that about Steven Tyler too, because I used to have that. I told you when I was a kid, I have a crush on him, and I thought because he's so
Yeah.
real looking, but he's so sexy
He
and
is sexy.
you
Yeah.
know, he's different, right? He's so
He
different.
is. And he's sweet as hell.
That's
Sweet.
true.
He's so nice.
I saw a video of him I think he was in Europe somehow, and they were
Huh?
playing one of his songs, an Aerosmith song, and he got up and started singing. They were just singing on "Put the Hat Out," and Steven Tyler got up and started singing with them, and they were like,
See how sweet that is. That's so amazing. I think that's great when someone does that. It really like shows that, they're appreciative and to their fans, and that, because anybody in this business that, is going to punch out the paparazzi is ridiculous. That's what they asked for.
"That's
You know what I
true."
mean?
Yeah,
They got to know in their mind and kind of like get it together. This is what I do. I can't really help it that people are attracted to me and want to, talk to me or whatever.
that's so true. Yeah, and I was just watching this thing on Netflix about Anna Nicole Smith, and it was like
Yeah.
she had this total like she worked with the paparazzi because she wanted to, build her
Yeah.
career, but it was such a sad documentary. It was like the poor thing, I was, I think
I
it's,
know. I think I've seen it. It's sad.
yeah, well, it's sad because, I never was into drugs. I drink a little bit, but I never was into drugs. And so, but
Me either. Me either. Never. I never tried anything. The only thing I tried was marijuana like once. And I was like, no way. This makes me freaking paranoid. I cannot do this.
I know.
And laugh and laugh. I just said, okay, I can't laugh anymore.
And I just, want to eat. And then I get all,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what's this? This is not good. But so
Yeah.
I've never been, I don't have an addictive personality, but I've been around a lot of people that have almost died from drugs, and it's just so sad because
Yeah.
I guess people that are filling a hole of some sort that they're not, my friend calls it self-medication, self-medicating.
Yeah, I've had like a lot of just experience with that in a way because I've had serious back issues and neck
Oh, yeah,
issues in the last year,
sure.
and I've had like 3 procedures done, and I'm telling you, I tried to take everything else to take away the pain, but you know what? You get in a situation where the pain pills, opiates, whatever, you have to take it because it won't go away. And then you get to the point where I got to the point where I'm like, look, I don't want to be addicted to this.
Right.
I've got to get rid of this pain. So that's why I had like 3 epidurals, is because I'm like, look, you know what? And I just cut down and down because I don't want to be like that. Because one day I was without it and I thought I was going to die of pain. It was terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I think Jeff was telling me a little bit about that, so are you okay now? I mean, are you having,
Yeah, I'm okay now.
I hope that we get to work together eventually, because I know that we talked about,
We're going to
Yeah.
in Dagger Dust. It's still happening. He like, lets me know every couple of weeks what's going on. And basically he's talked to Shudder and a couple other places that were interested, but Shudder, I guess, wanted to do it for a certain amount of money. And Aaron was like, I don't think I can do that, but
Oh, they wanted to give him a smaller budget than he.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know that.
So he's talking to other people, but I said, if you get to the point where nobody, go there, like
True.
go,
That's true
run
because,
each other.
and I told you this before, I can help. I mean, we can all help. Like I can help pull resources because I'm good at finding people to do stuff for,
I know you are. I would love that. I
on a
mean,
shoestring
we would,
budget.
yeah, and we would give you, a producer credit. I'm a producer, so I can, if I, I would definitely bring you on as a producer.
Oh, thank you. No, I do like producing. I know Jeff and I, excuse me, always talk about it. He's like, I hate producing, but I
I
like it.
don't like it either. If I'm in the movie, I'm not
Yeah.
crazy about it because
Well,
it's wearing two hats at the
yeah,
same time.
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard. I did produce and act in one thing. Pretty much that's the only thing I ever produced and acted. I've been in live shows where I produced. It is hard. You're right. But
Yeah, and especially when you have another mutual friend that is no longer our friend, I think.
yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
That
You have
was
to be really careful about
I
people
got-
like that.
oh my
Oh
God.
God.
Beware, podcast listeners, beware of the sharks,
Yes, beware of the people that will bite your head off
Yeah.
and take your role and your movie.
Life is too short. I have a lot of friends. I don't want to be friends with people that I can't trust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Oh God, no. I guess I have a lot of acquaintances.
right.
I don't really have a lot of friends that I would trust,
Well,
or
maybe that's
maybe I could trust them if I gave them a chance, but sometimes I'm a little scared to give them a chance.
well. I think it's better actually to have a smaller group that you can really trust. But I think because I'm an only child, and I
So
feel
am I.
that's right. You're an only child too. I don't know. I think that's why I lean on my friends a lot because I don't have any brothers or sisters to talk
Me
to.
too. Mhm.
I have one aunt and she lives locally, but so anyway, but as we do get older, I feel like we should maybe make the circle a little bit closer and not just because if you can trust people, you want to hang on to those people, like hang on to the people that you can trust. So I'm learning not to have so many friends, but just good quality friends.
Friends are hard to find, but I probably have. They say that if you have uh, five, you're in good shape.
That's true. That's true. I think we have to wrap it up because I have dinner plans as usual. But what do you
Yes,
do?
you do.
Yeah,
Well, I would still like to get together with you when I come to LA. I want to definitely see you.
I know, and I know we didn't get to spend a lot of time because you were at your premiere. Well, it was a screening premiere.
Yeah, yeah. You never can talk at those things because they're so crazy.
I know. The Miss Knight, we want to take pictures.
I know, and I'm like, because I know they'll turn out weird.
Oh,
Like, you have to do this angle, okay? No.
You're funny. You're like my friend Lucia. She's always like, "We got to do my right side."
Oh, it's so yeah, but it's like important. Yeah. So okay, I would love to. Let's make like a dinner
Yeah.
plan.
When are you coming? Well, when are you? You're coming out soon, right? Pretty soon.
I think I'm going to be coming out at the end of July.
All right, doll. Listen. Have a great dinner or whatever. Are you guys going out to dinner too? Yeah.
No, he makes dinner like every night, so it's ridiculously
God, a
fun.
man that cooks, you gotta love it.
I don't love it. And can use tools. Unbelievable.
Ah, he's a man, and he's good to your mother.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
I know, and she loves it because she was like, her boyfriend's so nice.
Oh, I know. Everyone around me, like even my friend Mikey, hates everybody that I go out with. Everybody in my whole life, and then he can't say anything about this. He's like,
What do you say? I mean,
Mhm.
he hasn't done any. I mean, he can't. Carl's never done anything that you could say negative about, right?
nope.
And he's still.
We've had like misunderstandings, like,
Sure.
but never like fights. You know what I mean? Like I've had with other men, other people I've gone out with.
Sure.
But we don't fight for some reason.
Well,
It's just
maybe because he's intelligent, but also he's in social work now, so he's probably learning how to use his skills to you know what I mean, not debate, but to argue in a constructive way, right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what he's being trained for, right?
Yes.
Tuesday. So thank you so much that I'm glad we got to meet
Sure.
again because I really hated ending on that bad note. And this actually might be 2 podcasts because it's so long,
It's okay. You can just combine, cut it off, and
Yeah.
choose the parts you like.
Yeah, it's either going to be part 1 and part 2, or just we're going to smush it together,
Yeah, that's okay. They'll be like, wait, She didn't have bangs there, but
I
she
know.
does here.
I know, her hair's shorter there. What happened?
I know. So funny.
All right.
Well, go to dinner, and thank you for having me.